This conference will now be recorded.
Financial statement version in short FSV. In SAP we have a topic called financial statement version or FSV. This is nothing but P&L and balance sheet report. We are all aware of what is profit and loss account, and we are all aware of what is balance sheet account. This P&L account and this balance sheet account is prepared in SAP by way of FSV or financial statement version. Now, in order to understand what is financial statement version or FSV in SAP, before that we have to understand what is P&L, what is balance sheet, how your P&L is prepared, how P&L result is calculated, and based on the P&L figures, how we are going to prepare balance sheet. Once we have basic understanding about this, then it will be very easy for us to understand financial statement version in SAP. This is a very simple configuration, but logically we need to understand how the numbers are being calculated, displayed on your report. I asked any one company code in the test system for us to configure this financial statement version. Anybody created any company code?
Yes, I
Any
created.
yeah,
Yes.
company code
PNIN.
TN PN
No, PN.
PNIN.
Yes.
Okay. PNIN. Before we start configuring, before we start understanding, let us first verify that company code. I'm straight away going into FHELL03. I'll put that company code PNIN. I want to make sure there are no postings in this company code. Alright, there are no entries, there are no postings in this company code, which is why this is appearing like this. Go back. Now let us verify what parameters are assigned to this company code. For that, let's go to OBY6 company code global parameters. Inside this, go to position, select PNIN company code, double click on this. If you look at this, chart of account is DEGR and company is PNIN, field status, all this other thing is as usual. You just need to focus on company code and chart of account in order to create your financial statement version. So this is your, I'll put this here, company code and chart of accounts. These two are the prerequisites before we initiate financial statement version setup in the system. Let's assume that we have these two things. I'm not talking about these two things as of now. Let's talk about some practical example to identify the calculation part. For that, what I'll do, I'll take some simple calculations and then we will see how the financial figures will come. For that, if I go up, I think long time we would have done basic calculation. Maybe at the beginning of our sessions, we would have calculated some numbers. P&L balance sheet, this is what we've prepared, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, what I will do, I'll copy this information. copied this. Let me come down. Let me paste it here, and then I'll remove the unwanted columns from here. Where our balance sheet got tallied. This is your trial balance. I think some fields got deleted. This is the trial balance. Where is the total? Here is the total P&L balance sheet. 1380. After this, whatever is there, let me remove. Okay, quick recap. Like this is something that we've discussed at the beginning of our sessions, correct? When we were starting our initial discussions, we were talking about some basic financial entries. We talked about journal entries. We talked about trial balance, P&L, balance sheet. Now let us try to replicate the same thing in a new company code, and then we'll try to pull out trial balance, P&L, balance sheet with the same numbers that we have posted. Now, first of all, I'm not going to configure anything on the system related to financial statement version. First, we need to pass the entries on the system. After posting the entries, we will be talking about GL master record and then financial statement version configuration, report extraction. First, let's make sure how many GL accounts do we need. So what I will do, okay. First, let us verify how many GL accounts are already available in our company code. FS00. Company code is PNIN, Panasonic Home India Private Limited. All these GL accounts are already copied from your chart of account DEGR. So this is point number 1. GL master is already available. Point number 2. Let us make sure there are no postings currently in your company code. To check if there are any postings currently in your company code, option number 1, you can check in your GL line item report. Option number 2, you can check directly from the table. It's always recommended you check from the table. Go to SE16N. Since we are working on S4HANA, always remember you will access the table called AC Doka. Put AC Doka, ledger is always leading, 0L ledger. Company code is PNIN. Just click on execute icon. It gives a message no values found, which means currently there are no postings in this company code, which is correct. There are no postings. This is a fresh new company code. Come back. Now we need to pass the entries in this company code. For that we need GL accounts. To create the GL accounts, what I am going to do, I am going to create this GL masters quickly. I'm going to create this GL masters quickly so that we will have all the GL accounts in a proper sequence. So let us take the GL masters from the trial balance. For creating a GL, let me go to FS00. First one is cash. I think cash we already have. We already have cash GL. Let me put GL number here. I'll take any one cash GL account, or else let me create a new GL account. It's always better. I'll copy this. I'll take this GL number as 21. I am going to put FSV. I'm keeping the initial 3 digits as FSV to represent this GL account is created for the FSV purpose, and I'll put cash. Clear? Huh? What you need is only the GL account number, and I'll take this GL account number. I'll keep this here. This is the GL account number, GL code. Next one is furniture. For furniture, otherwise I'll do one thing. I'll create all the GL accounts in the same group. Okay, it does not make any difference when we are making the financial statement version. First, we are trying to understand the concept behind it. Later on, when we define it, you will automatically understand on what basis you will design it. For now, in order to not to create any confusion, I am creating all the assets under one group only. 21, I'll create the other asset account. 22, I'll put FSV, furniture, save it. Third one is purchases. This is your 22. Any other assets we have? Only two assets we have. Next one is purchase. Purchases, we need one expense category. Let me take any one expense category. Domestic sale. I'll take non-operating income. Sorry, not income. Non-operating expenses. In non-operating expense, let me create one GL account. I'll take 21 only. Here I'll put purchases. I'll put GL description as FSV purchases. Save it. Let's make sure this is not a cost element. Right, this is not a cost element. I'll put this GL account number here. Next one is rent. 21 I'll create as 22. Copy from 21, make it 22. I'll put the description as rent. Save it. Next one, salaries. This is also an expense. This will be 23. Copy this again. 23. Put this salaries. Save it. Electricity. This will be 24. Copy another GL account. 24. Save it. Next one, advance rent. This will be an asset. Copy this and we'll need to create in the asset. Asset, we were using this. This will become 23. FSV advance rent. And I'll put this GL account number there. 23. So that it will be easy for us to pass the entry. And this is 21. And I'll put the sequence. Next one, discount given. This is also an expense. I'll copy this discount given. This will be created under your P&L. Non-operating expenses. 24, this will become 25. FSV discount given. Save it. I'll put this GL account number here. 25. Next, capital is a liability. I'll copy this capital. Let's go to capital. This is here. I'll copy this. I'll take 21. I'm following the same sequence for everything. I'll put FSV capital. Copy this, save it. And the last one is your sales. Capital GL account number, let me copy and I'll put this here. Last one is your sales. Copy sales. I'll take one sale category here. 21. FSV sales. This is the GL account number for this. Copy this and then I'll put this here. Now whatever I did, is it clear? I've just created the GL account for all these accounts in the new company code. Next thing is to pass the accounting entries in this GL account for the same amount. For passing this JV, first let us make sure we have the number ranges created. Go to FBN1. PNIN will be the company code. Number range interval. Number ranges are also already copied, which is fine. Go back. Now let us pass the entry. I'll go to FB50. I am going to pass all these entries in the current month, which means June 2023. I'll take everything as current date. Make sure the company code is yours. This is currently DEIN. Let me click on company code. I'll change this to PNIN. Date is current date. Reference I'll put maybe 1. I'll simply put sequence. Entry number 1. Okay. So cash account debit, capital account credit. Let me also take the amount here. Copy. I'll put the amount here so that I can see amount, everything in one go. Now are these entries clear what we are going to pass in the system? Clear? These are the financial entries that we are going to record in our company code, and then we will be generating financial statements for this company code for these accounting entries. First thing what we are going to do, we are going to create all these GL accounting postings. For that, first accounting entry will be cash account debit, capital account credit for 10 lakhs. Now we all know how to pass a debit credit journal entry. This is your cash account debit. Cash account number is here. Copy cash account, put this here. And next, capital account. Capital account is here. Copy capital account, put this here. Select cash account debit, capital account credit. And let us select the amount 10 lakhs. Copy. Paste this here. Let us check if profit center is created. If not, we'll have to make sure profit center is available. Let me quickly create a profit center. KE51 PNIN01. I'll simply put description also same thing. I'll select this under main segment, and I'll tag this to the same company code which we are using. I'll deselect all, select, many company codes tagged to this. I'll activate this. Okay, profit center is now created. Let me put this profit center for this entry. For all these entries, I'll be using the new profit center which we created now, PNIN01. And let me click on save directly. First entry is posted. Now let us post all these entries as usual. Now everybody is clear, right, how we are posting the entries. I'm not explaining the entry portion now because we all know how to pass the entries. There is nothing new that we will be knowing from this part now. Second entry will be furniture account debit, cash account credit. Furniture account is here. I'll put furniture account and I'll put cash account. Cash account is here. And this is furniture debit. This is your cash credit. Date I'll put same. Entry number 2. Amount is 1 lakh. I'll put amount here and here. Next thing is profit center. This is another point that we will have to work on, the line layout of this screen. If you see currently, I am giving GL account here, selecting debit credit here, giving the amount here, but to put profit center, I need to scroll right side a lot. Now I don't want to scroll a lot to the right side. I want all these fields to be in the sequential order. This is one of the activities that we will have to do. Make a note of this one also. Save this. Now second entry is posted. Now entry number 3. Third entry, cash debit, sales credit. This is your cash account. And sales account is this. Copy sales account. Put this here. This is your debit. This is your credit. Amount is 7,50,000. Put amount on the debit side, amount on the credit side. Same profit center on the debit, same profit center on the credit. Save the entry. Next one, purchase account debit, cash account credit. Purchase account is here. Copy purchases. Same date. This will be your entry number 4. Purchase account debit. Next, sales cash account credit. Copy this cash account. I'll put debit and I'll put credit here. And this amount purchase to cash is 6 lakh. Copy 6 lakhs. Put this in the amount column. And profit center same. Save it. This entry is posted. Next one, entry number 5. Rent account debit, cash account credit. Rent is here. And cash account is 1,21,000. Rent debit, cash credit. And this is for 20,000. profit center. Debit, credit, save this. Next entry, entry number 6. Salaries account debit, cash account credit. Salaries is here. And cash account is 21. This is debit, this is credit. Salaries amount is 10,000. Copy amount, put this here and then here. Next, profit center. This and this. Save this. Next entry will be 7. Electricity account debit, cash account credit. Electricity is here. Electricity debit, cash credit. This will be debit, this will be credit. Amount 1000. I'll put 1000 here, 1000 here. Profit center. Save. Next one, entry number 8. Advance rent debit, cash account credit. Advance rent is here. This account debit, cash credit. This is debit, credit. 60,000. Copy this amount 60,000. Put this here and then here. Next, profit center. Assign profit center here and here. Save this. Last one, discount given debit, cash credit. Discount given is here. Entry number 9. This is the discount given. This is your cash. Debit and then credit. This amount is 8,000. Copy this amount. Put this here. 8,000 on the debit, 8,000 on the credit. Profit center is this. Save. Now our entries have been posted. Now clear this part, data entry posting. Any questions on this? GL posting? No, right?
No.
All right.
Yes.
Now once the GL entries have been posted, next thing that we did was we pulled out the ledger balance reports. To pull out the ledger balance report, we have two screens. Screen number 1, FAGLL 03. If you go to FAGLL 03, I do not give any GL account number. I'll just input the company code. I'll click on execute. This will give the balances of each GL account, whatever we have posted. These are all the GL balances that we are getting. And if you scroll down, you will get to know the GL account balance in every account. Okay. FAGLL 03 is the line item report for GL account. Second report that you can check is closing balance in each GL account using FAGLB 03. FAGLB 03 is used to check closing balance in each GL account. Put this, give your company code. I'm not giving any GL account number. I'll click on execute. This is asking GL account mandatory. I'll give 1 to all lines. Execute. This is what I am getting. If I click on individual account on the top right side, this will give you the list of GL accounts in which entries are posted. You can select the respective GL account. It will display the balance accordingly. Okay, this is another report where you can see each GL account wise closing balance based on the period. What is your opening balance? What is the respective period? Debit balance, credit balance for the month and YTD number. So this balance is the FTM number or the for the month number. This cumulative balance is year to date number. Go back. Two reports we have seen. There is a third report which is your FAGLB, no, FBL 3H. This is your GL account line item browser FBL 3H. I'll give only the company code. I don't give any GL account number. I'll just click on execute. This is your GL account line item browser. If I open this, it will give you GL account wise closing balance. Rows displayed 0. Layout default. Nothing is coming. Let us verify why there is no data appearing in this report. In filter there is nothing. Sort, filter. Any other T code? FAGLL03H. Okay, I am opening FAGLL03H because FBL3NH is not working. I'll put company code. I'll not give any GL account number. Let me click on execute. Run this report. It's asking select the GL account number. Let us select 1 to all 4 series. Run this. I think some issue with this report. Normally this will display GL account wise closing balances.
Sir, FS10N?
No, not FS10N.
Okay, sir.
FS10N is nothing but FAGLB03. This will ideally show the GL balance like this. If I show you FBL1N vendor for our company code DEIN, this is giving you like this. Each line item it is giving you. For every vendor, based on the number of line items, you get the output. But instead of FBL1N, if I type FBL1H, this is your vendor line item browser. Same thing, I'll not give any vendor account. I'll just give the company code. I'll click on execute.
Okay, sir.
This is how it will give you. Against each GL account, it will have to give the amount here and the number of entries that are posted in that account. So in short, in single shot, you will be able to see based on the GL account, what is the closing balance, how many entries are posted. For some reason that is not giving the output, that I'll check why it is not giving. Some technical issue may be there in that report that I'll figure out and then show you maybe in the next session. But remember, there is another report called FAGLL03H, historical report. Let's try one more time.
For all items.
No, it is the same because we have not posted anything open account. thing. This is closed. So FAGLL03H PNIN, and this is giving some problem. Maybe we do not know what is the problem. Cash account. Let me give the GL account and then try to execute. Something is wrong with the report only. Some technical issue is there. Let me ignore this, but make a note of this GL account report also. FAGLL03H. So far we have seen GL line item report, GL balance report, GL history report also, in short line item browser, which is currently not working because of some technical error. Somebody is using this ID. Let me use another ID. So after creating the GL account master, posting the GL transactions, verifying GL line item balances, verifying GL account balances, next thing is to verify the trial balance. To see the trial balance, S underscore PL0 underscore 86000030. This is the screen to check the trial balance. In this trial balance, input the currency type. In which currency do you want to see the trial balance? Whether you want to see the TB in local currency or in your group currency. If you want to see it in your local currency, currency type will be 10, company code currency. I'll take 10. Company code is PNIN. For trial balance, you do not give any GL account range because trial balance contains all the GL account balances. So you will not be giving any GL range there. Straight away, I am coming down because we have only one profit center. I'm not filtering on profit center also. Next one, ledger is leading 0L. Fiscal year is current year 2023. Posting period, we have posted the entry in current month. According to leading ledger, Jan to December fiscal year, June period number will be 6. I'll put 626. In short, I am telling the system I need the trial balance for June month. In short, period number 6. Now I will select object list more than one lead column. Click on execute. Let me select the layout that we have created. I think it's not there. Let me hide this and straight away I'll pull the closing balance from here till here. And if I do a total for this accumulated balance, you have to get 0. Are you getting 0? This is the closing balances and we will take the screenshot of this. Snipping tool, new entry. I'll take till here. Copy this screenshot. I'll go to our Excel sheet. Here I'll put this is screenshot. I'll put this is your trial balance. Okay, and let us verify if the trial balance numbers are matching with our actual trial balance that we prepared. or I'll do something. I'll put next to next each other. This is from your SAP, and our manual trial balance also. Let me take this here. Copy, come down. I'll put this here. Now, if you verify the account numbers, cash in our manual calculation is 9,51,000. Cash from SAP is 9,51,000. Correct? Furniture is 1 lakh.
Yes.
Here also furniture is 1 lakh. Advance rent is 60,000. Advance rent is 60,000. Purchases is 6 lakh. Here also you have purchases 6 lakh. Rent, so on. All the GL account balances, are they matching? Are all the balances matching? Debit, credit? We have separately taken credit in the different column. In SAP, for credit, you will find a negative number, minus sign appearing on the right hand side or at the last. If you look at the capital amount, 10 lakhs is your capital, and if you see the capital on your Excel sheet, 10 lakh on the credit side. Correct? In short, is your trial balance clear from SAP and your Excel sheet manual trial balance? Clear? This is your trial balance. Next one, after preparing trial balance, we have prepared P&L to find out what profit we were getting, what loss we were getting. If we go back to the P&L and then check what happened with our P&L calculation. In P&L, what happened? We prepared P&L debit credit. We got profit of 1,11,000. Correct? Our P&L profit was 1,11,000. Your balance sheet was tallying at this number, 1111,000. This is your balance sheet number. Now, if you pass this entries in SAP, if you try to generate P&L from SAP, if you try to generate balance sheet from SAP, are we supposed to get the same number, or there should be any difference in the number from SAP? We are supposed to get the same number. Now, how we will be creating financial statement version? Let us try to understand. You have two numbers on your screen. When you generate the financial statement version from SAP, this should be your profit, this should be your balance sheet, asset, liability. First, I will be creating a simple basic financial statement version. The complex financial statement version is also created with the same logic. There is no change in the logic. It is just that number of entries will get increased. Now, to create financial statement version, you have two transaction codes, or you can work with a single transaction code also. That is your OB58. You can remember only this T code. From here, you can automatically get directed to the next transaction code. Let's go to OB58, press enter. If you go to OB58, if you hit enter, you will find change view financial statement version. In short, this is where you are going to decide, you are going to design your P&L format, your balance sheet format. Here, if you want, you can copy from the existing financial statement version, or you can create a new financial statement version of your own. By default, for most of the countries, SAP will give you predefined financial statement version. For every country, you will find one predefined financial statement version. If you are working for this particular country, you can come to know how this financial statement is designed here. Currently, I am not opening any one existing this one. I'll straight away go to new entries. Go to new entries, click on FS version. Here, whatever the financial statement version that you are creating, give one code. In general, when you're in any real environment, you will be creating only one financial statement version. which will be used by all your company codes. Because to create the financial statement version, if you see one option here, there is something called chart of account. Financial statement version is not created at company code level. Financial statement version is created at chart of account level, which means whatever the company codes that you have in your chart of account, in short, if your chart of account is shared by 10 company codes, you will be creating only one financial statement version, which will be used by all your 10 company codes. If you are a one group, if you are a one company, you have 10 legal entities within your company. All these 10 legal entities will have to follow the same reporting structure, same reporting requirement, same format will be used. For that, under one chart of account, you will be creating one financial statement version. This version is commonly used by all your company codes. You are not going to create for 10 company codes 10 financial statement versions. Okay, this is created at chart of account level. People might ask you this question: do you create multiple financial statement versions for each company code, or there will be a common financial statement version? You have to be very clear that there will be a single financial statement version at chart of account level, which will be used by all your company codes. Okay, now FS version, since we are creating for the test purpose, I will be creating with our company code. I'll create this as PNIN. Clear? I'll put PNIN. Here I'll put PNIN financial statement version. After this, general specifications. In this you need to mention maintenance language. In which language you want to maintain your financial statement version. You want to maintain this in English language. Next one, auto item keys. This is nothing but whatever the grouping, whatever the sequence that you are writing in your balance sheet P&L headings. For every heading there is a sequence, for every heading there is a serial number. Whether you want to maintain this serial numbers automatically defined by the system, or you want to maintain it manually. Normally we will be going ahead with auto key assignments. Why? What is the purpose of this? What impact this will create? We will be understanding it in our next financial statement version creation. First we need to understand the basic version of it, basic functionality of it, then we will explore different advantages of it, different options available with us. By default, you should always select auto item keys. Next one, your chart of account. For which chart of account you are going to create this FSV? Our company code is assigned to chart of account DEGR. Okay, our chart of account is assigned to DEGR. You need to put DEGR here. One sec, I think. First, let me try to log in. Okay, DEGR. After that, group account number we are not going to use as of now. If you are using group chart of account, then you can include group account number. Functional area, if you are using functional area concept, then you will be using it. Normally, even in real time, we don't use this too. After giving your FS version, description, language English, auto item keys should be by default enabled. Chart of account, click on save this. Enter. Now your financial statement version is saved. In your financial statement version, you have to define the structure of P&L. You have to define the structure of a balance sheet. For that, you need to click on this financial statement items on the same screen. Once you save it, click on financial statement items. If you look at here, you are currently on OB58 transaction. The moment you click on financial statement items, it will take you to FSE2 transaction code. The moment you click on it, you are redirected to FSE2. FSE2 is the screen where you are going to modify your financial statement version. In OB58, you will define the financial statement version. In FSE2, you will modify the financial statement version. In this, if you see, by default, there are certain things which are appearing. Now, this is something called no text exists. After this, you have another text. This text contains a background color. Right? This text contains some background color in red. Whatever the text that you see, whatever the items that you are able to see here with background color, which is red. This is the standard in all the versions of SAP. Whatever the line you are able to see it here, this is auto calculated logic enabled in the backend. In short, these figures will have automatic logic in the backend programming. You are not supposed to ignore them. You are not supposed to exclude them. In your grouping, you must include these points. When you define the financial statement version, make sure your financial statement version is including this background things. You are not supposed to make any changes. You are not supposed to make any modifications to this red background highlighted things, because these are auto calculated numbers. Formulas are predefined in this lines in the background. Before you create your financial statement version, you need to first create your group, and in your group you need to add this according to the applicability. But you're not supposed to delete it. Even if you try to delete it, it will not allow you to delete. Let me select this. I'll try to delete. It says subtree cannot be deleted because it contains certain items. Because in the backend there is some mapping in the programming, which is the reason you cannot delete this. You cannot ignore them. If applicable, use it. If not, leave it. But do not delete it. Do not modify them. Clear? There's a first rule that you have to remember. The red highlighted whatever you have, you are not supposed to delete. You're not supposed to modify. First thing, in your financial statement version, you are going to have two headings. One is P&L, the other one is balance sheet. To create P&L as a separate heading, to create balance sheet as a separate heading, you need to select your financial statement version. Your financial statement version is PNIN, which is here. Select financial statement version PNIN. After selecting this PNIN, on top you have something called create items. Click on create items. If you click on create items, this will give you another pop-up asking you to input whatever the headings you want under your financial statement version. Let's say I want to have profit and loss statement. I want one heading as profit and loss statement. So I can create like this profit and loss statement. If you want additional, as many as you want, you can create. For that, again you click on this, click on create items. Here, let's say I want next one after my P&L statement, I need balance sheet. I will type balance sheet here. Click on continue. It has come like this. Now you can choose the sequence in which you want. If I want P&L first, if I want balance sheet next, I need to switch this. So for that, what you need to do, you need to select this. Normally you will not find options icons user friendly in this. You have to be a little conscious, a little careful. If I want to select profit and loss account, I need to click on this. This arrow mark is the selection, or you can use F9 on the keyboard. Option number 1, you can click on this icon, this arrow mark, or option number 2, you can press F9 on the keyboard. Let me select this F9 or click on this icon. This is selected. If this is selected, that will change the color. Now I want to change this. I want to change its position. What I'll do, I want to take this position. Let me click on balance sheet. After clicking on balance sheet, I want to reassign it. I want to change the position of it. To do any change of position, you have another icon, this reassign. If I click on reassign, I get another pop-up. What do I want to do when I say reassign? Whether I want at same level or I want at subordinate. If I click on same level, this will be at the same level, same line. If I click on subordinate, this profit and loss account will go inside the balance sheet. If I want profit and loss account to appear inside the balance sheet, I need to select subordinate. If I want P&L should appear on top of my balance sheet at the same level, I need to click on same level. Let me click on same level and I click on continue. Anything happened? Anything happened or nothing happened?
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. The sequence did not change. Now I'll try to change from balance sheet to P&L. Let me select balance sheet now. And I want balance sheet to go down and P&L to go up. I'll select P&L account. I'll click on change, reassign, same level, continue. Now anything happened?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Your
So
petition has been
slowly you have to practice these things at the beginning. It's not about whether you're able to configure or not is a secondary. If you want to change the order sequence, how you are going to do all these things, you have to understand slowly. Because tomorrow when you're in a project, you may not be working on the creation of it, but you may be working on modification of it. So you must know what you need to do what kind of activity. So if you want to change, you need to select and then you need to click on this reassign option. You can move it up, down, inside or outside. Clear? Next one, you have P&L statement. Normally in your P&L statement, you have different headings. When you talk about different headings in your P&L, when you create your account groups in OBD4, when you create the account groups in OBD4, we would have created account groups based on a logic, correct? If I go to OBD4, OBD4 and then I'll go to display mode, position, DEGR is our chart of account. If I give this DEGR, we have created so many account groups, maybe around 50 plus we have created. Now each account group will represent a node in your P&L or a node in your balance sheet, which means a heading or a subheading in your P&L statement or in your balance sheet. When you prepare P&L, when you prepare balance sheet, there will be a predefined fixed format of every organization. Let's say if you're working for XYZ client, XYZ organization, that client will have a predefined P&L format, a predefined balance sheet format. This format they will give to you based on their existing P&L format, based on their existing balance sheet format, you have to create all the headings. Basically, all those headings are catered or considered at the time of your chart of account creation. But in some projects, we may not be able to capture everything because certain implementations would have done long back. Now they would have restructured their chart of account. They would have revamped their financial reporting system. According to that, the old groups may not work out for them. You may have to work with the new structure. For that, your account groups may not be corresponding to your P&L schedules or your balance sheet schedules. You need to ensure that your current accounting groups, current GL accounts and your current P&L format, current balance sheet format are aligned. If not, how you are going to align the GL accounts? Okay. Now I'm not creating all these account groups in the financial statement version. First, we will try to understand the concept functionality of it, for which I am going to create simple account groups to make sure that we understand without having any confusions. But when you create the financial statement version, you have to pay attention on your GL account groups. Next, I'll come to this financial statement version screen. Here under P&L statement. Normally, we all know in P&L you have two headings. One is your expenses, the other one is your incomes. I will select P&L. Inside the P&L, I want the groups now. Inside P&L I have expenses. Inside P&L I have incomes. Select your P&L, click on create items. In this I want to create, let's say, expenses and losses, something like this. All these informations will be given to you by your client, which means you will have to sit and discuss with your client, and you have to show a dummy P&L, a dummy balance sheet from the SAP system, so that they will understand how this is reflected in the SAP. Accordingly, they will give you the structure. First heading is expenses and losses. Second one I will put incomes and gains. Correct? This is what we normally represent in your P&L. I am going to put only these two headings. Now, whenever you create something, keep saving this. Now, whenever you are saving, whenever you are making any modifications, you will get two options like this. Especially this is very important when you are working on support projects. Let's say you got a ticket to update the financial statement version. Modifications in the financial statement version can be a frequent change when you are in a real environment. You can tell that you got a ticket to add new GL account or add new account group, move GL account from one group to another group as a support ticket when you're talking about your interview. Now here, when you're saving it, you have two options. Option number one, save. Option number two, activate. If you click on save only, it will get saved, but it will not get activated. Changes will not reflect when you execute the financial statement version if you are clicking on save. Always you need to click on activate. If you click on activate, it will perform two activators, save and activate. Same logic of your profit center. When you create a profit center, you have two options. Option number one, save. Option number two, activate. Correct? If you click on save profit center will be created, but you cannot post any entries to it. Similarly, if you click on save here, your changes will get saved, but they will not be reflected on your FSV when you execute the report. To make sure your FSV changes are properly captured and they will reflect on your reporting, you must always click on activate, because we tend to click on Ctrl S, press enter on the keyboard. By default, system will select save option. Sometimes you may do it intentionally, sometimes you may do it unintentionally. You may not even notice sometimes. Clear? Click on activate. Now, replication of hierarchy PNIN started for the key date 25/6/2023. Since you made this change today, these changes are valid from today. That is what it is talking about. Enter. Now, hierarchy PNIN has been replicated. Now, changes have been replicated. Now, you have two categories in your P&L: expenses, losses, incomes and gains. Next one, in expenses and losses, you may have different categories: direct expenses, operating expenses, non-operating expenses. Yes, no? Depreciation cost, bank charges. You may have any kind of expenses. Now, all the grouping of your expenses will be created inside the expenses and losses. For example, I will select expense here. I will go inside the expense by clicking on create items. I may create, let's say, operating expenses, non-operating expenses, let's say depreciation, bank charges, employee cost, cost of goods sold, okay, and forex losses. Like this, you will have a number of groupings. All these groupings will be given to you by your client. You don't have to worry about it. All that you need to know is how you are going to map your FSV and how you are going to put it in a structural format according to your client requirement. That is where you need to focus. Like this, you will have different categories. Currently, I will save only this. I'll say OK. Clear? Any questions so far? How we are able to create group inside another group, inside that another group? Clear, right? It's all about drill down reporting. You'll create one group. Inside you may create another subgroup. Inside that subgroup, you can create another subgroup, and later on you can finally assign the GL account. But you can go multiple levels inside each group according to your requirement. Now let's say this is our requirement. This is where we want to see the P&L figures. Currently, whatever the GL accounts that we have created, I will assign all the GL accounts under one category. To assign the GL account, you need to select the respective group. Select this respective group, click on Assign Accounts here. Select the group, click on Assign Accounts. You get another heading here, another pop-up screen with the FS item as operating expenses. When you get this operating expenses, here you need to give what are the GL accounts that are to be displayed in this operating expenses. When you create your GL account groups, you would have created like this. Your account groups would have been created like this, similar to your financial statement. If I say operating, let's say this is the operating expenses, assuming this is the GL range for operating expenses. If you would have created your GL account groups considering your financial statements, it will be very easy to create your balance sheet P&L. Straight away, I will take this GL account range. I will put from number. Next, I will put to number. And debit credit should be enabled. This is mandatory because if you want system to display only if there is a debit balance, you take this. If I do like this, if the account contains a debit balance, it will be displayed. If the account contains credit balance, it will not be displayed because I am telling display only debit balance. But you must ensure you tick both debit and credit, because your GL account can contain a debit balance. Your GL account can also contain credit balance depending on the nature of transactions that you are posting. Make sure you put debit credit. Likewise, you will give the GL account range based on the account group if your account groups are created in a systematic format. If not, you have to map all the GL accounts in an Excel sheet. From the Excel sheet, you have to copy paste all the account numbers based on the account or P&L group. So as of now, I am going to give the complete range here. For all the expenses, I'll put under operating. I'll take 4 all zeros to 4 all nines. Clear? Later on, we will create a detailed financial statement version considering all our account groups for DEIN company code. Clear this, how to assign the GL account in each group? Any question? All right.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, this will be created at the time of a implementation project or company code going live after going live.
This will be created at the time of your initial implementation, but this must be delivered before your first month closing.
Okay, sir.
Okay, this must be delivered before your client does the first month end in the SAP.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I am giving all the GL account number ranges in the same operating expenses. I'll click on save. Now, the moment you give the GL account number range, if you click on this drop down icon, it will display all the GL accounts that are currently created in this account group, because you have given the range. If you give the range, all the account numbers will be created. Now, when I talk about getting a support ticket from this, your support ticket may include something like this. They might say scrapping they wanted to remove from operating expenses, scrapping they wanted to add it in non-operating expenses. Point is clear? They wanted to remove scrapping from operating expenses and they want to add this scrapping in the non-operating expenses. Since the scrapping is not an individual GL account in this scrapping is coming from the range. You have to break the chain. You have to break this range. To break this range, you need to delete this first. You have to delete this range and then add a range excluding this number. And after this number, you need to add another range. Then take this GL account into another group. You have to do very sensitively. Just like that, you cannot add. Just like that, you cannot modify, especially in the financial statement versions. Now, they purposefully ask these kind of questions to check whether you really worked on this or not. If this is from a range, I cannot delete it. Now, all these things we will see later on. If I try to remove it, I'll select scrapping, this one, and if I try to delete this, it is telling deselect all selected nodes for this function, because this is not an individual record. This record is coming from this range. If you want to remove this from this chain, you have to first delete this group, create a group until this number, exclude this number, create another group. In short, when I say currently you have given 1 to 10 as a range. Now my requirement is to 6 to be replaced. My requirement is 6 to be replaced. Now you know that 6 is part of this 1 to 10. 6 is part of 1 to 10. I am simply telling please change 6 from 1 to 10 and move this to another group. For this, first you need to delete this. First thing, you need to delete this. After that, you need to create one more range excluding 6, which means 1 to 5 a group is to be created and 6 alone is to be excluded. After 6 you have 7. Put 7 to 10. Instead of one existing group, you will have to create two groups. Now, are these two groups including 6 or excluding 6?
Excluding.
This is excluding 6. Now, exactly like this, you will get support tickets when you're in a project. Because these kind of modifications are quite common. Frequently, your clients will be making these kind of changes. This is your internal reporting. Once they may feel that, okay, this expense, we will show it under another head or we will show it under another head. For different financial adjustments, they might do this kind of activities for which they cannot make the modifications. They will send a request. These kind of things will come as high priority request because they have to make sure their financial reports are coming properly. So when you give a range, make sure you get all the GL account numbers. If a particular GL account contains transactions in your company code, data will be displayed. If not, data will not be displayed. Clear? If there is data in your company code against this GL account, it will get displayed. If not, it will not be displayed. Now, expenses, all we have added here. Clear? How did we add expenses? In the similar way, we need to add incomes. I have not added expenses based on the category. I have added all the expenses into operating expenses for time being. Let me minimize the expenses. Next one, I'll go to incomes. In the income also, you will have different categories. Let me select income. To create different categories within income, click on create items on the top. Here you will get different things. Let's say sales, other income, I may say operating income, non-operating income, something like this. You may have sales, domestic sales, intercompany sale. You may have any number of categorizations which your client will be sharing with you. For now, I am creating only 4 groups. I'll click on continue. These groups are created. Now let me add all the income related GL accounts in the same account. In the same category, I will add same like expenses. Let me put everything in operating income, including sales. Let everything will go into operating income. To add GL account in operating income, Select this particular group. For selection, either hit F9 or press F9 on the keyboard or click on this arrow mark. Select. This is for your selection. Otherwise, you can simply place the cursor here, click on assign accounts. When you click on assign account, make sure the account group or FS item is properly displayed. Here you put GL account number range for all your income related accounts. We have created 3 series for income. Let me replace 4 with 3 and 3 all lines. Clear? Debit credit should be displayed so that whether the account contains debit balance or credit balance will be displayed on your financial statement. Click on continue. Clear? If you expand this, again this is based on the range, all the GL accounts which are currently created at chart of account level, not at company code level. Because all these GL accounts may not be existing in all your company codes, they may be existing in selected company codes only. But system will pull out the data at chart of account level. Click on save. Whenever you save, make sure you click on activate icon, enter, enter. Any questions so far? Clear, right? This is your P&L which we have created. Now let us test whether our P&L is giving any output or not. I have not mapped balance sheet and other accounts yet. I have only mapped P&L expenses, P&L incomes. To run the financial statement version, F.01 is the transaction code. Open F.01. Option number 1, you can run at the chart of account level. When you run this at chart of account level, by default data will come from all the company codes. But normally we don't do it. You will be doing it for particular company code. Our company code is PNIN, and GL account, I do not want selected GL account. I want all the GL accounts of this particular company code to reflect in my PNL and to reflect in my balance sheet. After this, you need to select currency from which you want the number. Whether you want the numbers to be displayed from local currency INR or group currency dollar. Currently, we want to see the number in INR. For INR, your local currency, in short company code currency, which is 10. Click on 10. Next one, ledger. Ledger is nothing but your accounting principle. Whether you want the data according to IFRS or according to Indian Companies Act. Let's say you want the data from IFRS accounting principle, for which you have defined leading ledger. Select leading ledger 0L. Next one, give the financial statement version. We have created PNIN as our financial statement version. Put this PNIN and then fiscal year 2023, for which period you want the financial statement. You want this for period number 6. Put from 6 to 6. I already told you any financial report that you generate must be a comparative report. If your financial statement or if your TB PNL balance sheet is not a comparative report, that is not a valid report. Nobody approves it. So you want period number 6 data to be validated with period number 5. You'll put comparative period as 5. So that when I look at my June number, I am going to compare June number with May number. What was the amount in May? What is the amount in June? Accordingly, I will decide whether there is a growth or there is no growth, which means my business is improved, is doing good or not doing good. I will know only when I look at the comparative figures, for which you can either compare with current month with last month or current month with last year according to your requirement. Next one, you have different options, classic list, ALV list. Let us execute classic list first. Put radio button on classic list, click on execute icon. This is how you are getting the amount that you are able to see here is 111000, correct? You are able to see 111000. According to our manual calculation, our profit is 111,000. Are we getting correct figure? Is that number correct? What is this, profit or loss?
This is a profit.
This is a profit. Now let me go to SAP. Is this a negative number or a positive number, 111,000? Is this a positive number or a negative number that you are able to see on the screen?
Negative number.
Negative number.
This is a negative number. According to your nominal account, debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. If this is a credit number in your P&L, does this mean profit or loss?
Profit.
Profit.
Credit number in your P&L will always represent a profit. This is a profit. Right? According to our Excel manual calculation, we are getting profit. Focus only on the P&L, ignore the below items. These are balance sheet related. Ignore the balance sheet. We have not mapped balance sheet yet. First, we need to understand before we go to balance sheet. Clear? This P&L. Go back. This is one way of representation. You have another one, ALV grid control. Select this ALV grid control. Click on execute. It will be the same number, but the way it appears is a slightly different. This is your ALV grid control. According to ALV grid control, look at only the P&L related GL accounts. From here till here. Only till here, these are P&L related GL accounts. From cash onwards, those are balance sheet accounts. Ignore the balance sheet accounts. If you look at only P&L accounts, these are the expenses, these are the incomes, and the total is your 111,000. Is this a positive number or a negative number? The highlighted record. Is this a positive number or a negative number? Negative number. Even in this, it is showing profit only, negative number. This is a profit. Go back. Now, last one is your ALV grid control. Normally, this is what we use in the real time. We will be using ALV grid control. Select this ALV grid control. When you select ALV grid control, there are two options. Option number one, ALV grid control as usual. Option number two, ALV grid control according to as structured balance. So whenever you select ALV grid control, ALV tree control, if you select as structured balance list, this is going to display the GL accounts for which you have defined a mapping in your financial statement version. If I look at the financial statement version, did we map all the GL accounts or we mapped only P&L accounts? Currently, in our financial statement version, did we map all the GL accounts or we mapped only P&L accounts?
P&L accounts.
We mapped only P&L accounts. We did not map a balance sheet account. Agree?
Yes.
Now I'll go to financial statement version. I do not tick this. I don't tick as a structured balance list. As a structured balance list represents the structure that you have defined. In short, whatever the GL accounts that you have maintained in your P&L structure, in your balance sheet structure, only those things will be displayed. Now, if you don't select this, every GL account from your chart of account will be displayed, whether you map it or you don't map it. System will pick all the GL accounts from the chart of account. I'm not selecting this. Let me click on execute. This is what it is showing. If you look at this, there are two more headings that system is giving you. Right? This is giving cash, furniture and all. This is giving additional GL account, calculated result and all. Ignore all this. What is the mapping that you have done? You have done the mapping only for profit and loss statement. Your profit and loss statement balance is how much? What is this number? This is your 111,000, positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative.
Negative, which means is this a profit or loss?
Profit.
Oh,
Now this confusion you are not supposed to have. Sometimes your interviewer will put this question. How do you understand or how do you figure out that your P&L is showing profit or loss? How do you represent or how do you read your P&L that it is showing profit or it is showing loss? No other option. You have to tell that it will show a positive number or a credit balance. It will show a debit balance or a positive number. If you are unable to tell these basic points upfront, you will be rejected no matter how good you are at the configuration, because they feel that you do not know the basic debit credit, how to identify profit loss. For this kind of a simple reasons, silly reasons, people will reject. Okay, your P&L is showing 111,000, which is correct profit. And if you expand this P&L, it is giving you expenses and losses. This is what we have defined here. Correct? Inside P&L you have given expenses and losses. In the same way, it is giving you the output here. If I open expenses and losses, it has got operating expenses. But when we defined in P&L, inside expenses and losses, you have created multiple groups. Correct? There are multiple
yes,
groups,
sir.
but GL assignment is there only for operating expenses. GL assignment is there only for operating expenses. Inside the operating expenses, there is a big range. If I expand this range, there are so many GL accounts. Correct? There are so many GL accounts. But if I go to the output here, if I open operating expenses, is it showing all the GL accounts or is it showing only the GL account where there is a posting or where there is a balance?
Only posting and balance account.
Right? It is displaying only the account groups in which for the GL accounts where there is a account balance. If there is no balance, if there are no postings, those accounts will not be displayed in your P&L. In short, your financial statement version will not display. You might get these kind of questions also in your interview. Okay. Now this is your P&L expenses, and if I open this, this will give you the GL account, company code information and all this information you can get. Just minimize operating expenses. Next one, incomes and gains. If I expand income and gain, I have operating income. If I open the operating income, you have only one GL account. This is the GL number. This is your GL description. This is the amount. Now the sum of your P&L, in short, your expenses are 6,39,000, your incomes are 7,50,000. Difference between P&L accounts, in short, expense account and income account is resulting 111,000. That is appearing as your profit and loss statement account balance. Clear how this P&L is appearing on your financial statement? Any question, any doubt on this P&L alone? Because without understanding this, you will not understand balance sheet. This is a mandatory point to be understood before you start understanding remaining part in your financial statement, especially the balance sheet portion. Any question on this P&L? This is straightforward mapping in your P&L.
Sir, in that GL group, if we add the same number ranges with a different hierarchical, I mean that group, how system will react, sir?
It will not
Will
accept
it
the
accept?
duplicate record. It will work same like your number range. If the same number range, if you try to use 2 times, it will give you a message. It will not allow. It gives you that overlapping.
Yes.
It will not accept. If this is accepting the same GL account 2 times, then this is a big mistake, right? So you will end up calculating expense 2 times. You will end up calculating any GL account twice. So straightforward, your account balance or your report will give incorrect number if one GL account is accepted more than one time. That will not happen. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions on this PNL mapping alone?
So
Sir,
one
sir,
question from
while
P&L.
hello,
Yeah.
sir, while configuration we mentioned that this is for all company codes, but we are fetching for a particular company code. So means we can fetch reports on company code level, but while configuration it is required that it is based on chart of account. So
Correct.
means for multiple company codes we can also do that, or and for single also it depends.
It depends. You can run this report for all the company codes together. You can also run this for individual company code separately. But the configuration or your financial statement version is not company code specific. It is purely chart of account specific. Because you are going to take the GL accounts from chart of account to the company code.
Yes, sir.
So when you map a particular GL account according to chart of account, this GL account will be represented in this category. Now in all the company codes, it has to be in the same category. Otherwise, there is no point of consolidation.
Yes, sir.
Correct? For that reason, you will be defining this at chart of account level instead of company code level.
Got it. And sir, for one more question, I got the question from my interview that how to configure the net profit. So
That
this is
I'll
the
show in
answer.
the balance sheet part. No, this is not the answer.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
your net profit currently it is straightforward. The sum of your expense and income. This minus
Yeah.
this or the difference between these two is this. There is no
Yeah.
logic applied here. So
Yeah.
that
This is
will come
gross
into
actually.
picture. Huh,
Yeah.
that will come
Yeah.
into picture in your balance sheet. When we do the balance sheet, that is where you will understand how your P&L things are coming, how your balance sheet is getting tallied.
Got it, sir.
Any question on this
Um,
P&L which is
so
straightforward?
yeah, one question on mapping the profit and loss in the accounts. So you said that some we will be receiving the ticket that one P&L can be categorized into other P&L for the new category P&L. So before this this report, you are shown me the comparison rate for May and June. So last month we have used that particular P&L into different category, and now based on this new one, we have added the P&L into new category. So how the system will react, the balance, whether we will transfer the balance to the new one and we will generate the financial statement version, or how this system will react on the old and new P&L categories balance.
So that will automatically adjust even in your previous one. The changes, it will track that this was changed on this key date. For that reason, it will give you that date. The changes are made on so and so date. But
In
once you
in
make,
in a Yes,
yeah,
saying the
once you
changes will
make
be
the
made in.
change, go ahead.
So you go ahead, Darius.
Yeah, once you made the changes, whether you run this report for current month or previous month, according to the FSV, according to your structure, now you would have mapped the grouping, correct?
Yes,
The moment you map the grouping from one account classification to the another account classification, automatically your report will give the output based on the current mapping which is active, because you are going to run the report as on today.
yeah.
Right, let me show you this. If I let me try to delete this, and I'll try to save it. When I try to save it, this is what the message coming. When I click on save or when I click on activate, that will give you from this particular date, the changes are valid. I'm not saving it right now. Correct? Huh? Let me click on activate. Then I'll add this again. It is telling the changes are started or the hierarchy is replicated on 25/06/2023. Agree?
Yes. Yes.
Now, when you run the report, can we go backdate and then run the report?
No.
Like, can I run the report on 24th now? When I run the report, I can run the report from this time, this date.
Yes.
So from this date onwards, the new grouping is valid. So even though you have the May month report extracted already, which was extracted according to old mapping, right?
Yeah.
Now you have made the changes in the grouping. Now you are extracting May month report once again. Now you will find the difference in the May month report after executing post these corrections. It will give you the mapping changes. That is the reason for making the changes. If your changes are reflecting only for May month onwards, then when you're performing the comparisons, your data is not consistent. Your data has some inconsistency,
Yes.
right? So that will not be there. The moment you save it, the report will come in the latest format, whatever you have.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Yeah,
So
I've
the
deleted it.
previous. Okay. So the previous month all that balance will be reflecting in the new categories account.
Yes,
Right.
when you
Okay.
rerun the report, it will come according to the new structure.
Okay.
Sir, report will run in every month or once in a year.
This report is extracted every month. This is a monthly report because you will be preparing trial balance, P&L, balance sheet on a monthly basis.
Sir, this will be also month-end activity.
Yes, this is one of the month-end activity. Once all the data entry is posted for a particular month, they will perform the month-end activities, let's say depreciation and all. Once everything is completed, they will extract the report, the trial balance, P&L balance sheet. They will review the balances, they'll review the P&L balance sheet, they will send it for management for review.
Okay,
Like
sir.
CFO and all, they will review it, they will sign it, thus stating that these figures, whatever system is showing, the profit XYZ amount is correct. Then they officially close the month. Otherwise, if they say no, it is not supposed to be like this, there are some changes, corrections, then we need to pass the correction entries accordingly. And then again you need to pull out the report, again you need to send it to the management.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, right. Any other questions on P&L part?
So once we receive the ticket on the category changes, we need to do updated in OBD4 also. We need to do simultaneously,
No,
right?
no, 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 not in OBD4.
So there we will be maintaining same category for the pin.
That will be the same. OBD4 is only used for the GL account creation. That's it. If you change the category in OBD4, it will not allow you. And it will have some impact. You need to change your document splitting changes and all. Your GL account would have already postings.
Yeah, yes.
So that is not allowed. So that we will not do. That has got nothing to do. Your OBD4 is purely the master data related change.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, so when we had the number range here in operating expenses somewhat, so if in between that number range, if new GL has been created, that automatically it will add to this
Yeah,
report number.
automatically it will be included. That is why we always create chart of your financial statement version with the number ranges. Otherwise, whenever you create a new GL account, you have to keep on modifying your financial statement version if you don't go by the GL range. Clear?
Yeah, so in my current client, sir, actually, what they will do, they will request us to make modifiable the production server, and I just said, asked them that why you required to be modified. They said I wanted to add some GL accounts to the financial statement version. So in that case, shall I suggest them to add the number range?
Yeah, but before that, you need to know on what basis their GL masters are created, on what logic. Because if that is the reason, they may not be having a fixed logic when they create the GL account. One number may come into one category, the next number may belonging to another category. Because if I have, let's say, all the depreciation related accounts or all the employee cost related accounts in one group, I can simply put a range, but I am not creating likewise. I have only one common group. Whenever I create, at that time I will come to know, or I will decide where to put this in my P&L. So in that scenario, unless and until they create a GL account, they do not know where this GL account to be mapped. So this could be because the initial GL account group that was created is not in line with their reporting structure.
Sir, when they are following some other method, like while you are explaining, you have said that, for example, bank GL, it should come from 0 to 9. So I was creating the new bank account based on the request. So what I observed, they have given the bank GL, the main account, ending with 3. So in such case, should I go and tell them to create the bank account with 0 only, or whatever they give, that I should maintain?
Because these kind of things are not supposed to be changed in between. If you are asking them to change bank main account to be 0, now what you need to do, you need to scrap all the old bank GL accounts. Whatever the existing bank GL accounts that they have, all those GL accounts will have to be scrapped out, which means all those GL accounts will have to be blocked. You need to create a new set of GL accounts for all the existing banks, do a transfer posting. That's a big activity, that's a very big exercise. So instead what we will do, this is how it was designed. If you wanted to change, you need to change the entire banking process. It's not that for the upcoming GLs you will create it, because all the users are habituated. Account number ending 3 is a main account. Correct?
Yes, no, they have
Now,
followed the same thing in the beginning, 0 only. For newly created GL, that new manager has got some confusion and he has created.
then if it is created by mistakenly, yes, you can change it. You can change it. You can block those GL accounts, or you can rename the GL accounts, put the same GL account, just change the descriptions, and then do the transfer postings. Main account balances in the main account, sub account balances in the sub account.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir, here in financial statement version, we can able to prepare these reports based on the profit center, no, sir?
On the output, you will get it based on the profit center. Yes.
So now we are going to see that as well now, right now,
See
sir, in
that.
the future.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Let me open F.01 once again. Company code PNIN, local currency, leading ledger, period number 626, comparison, I'll put 626, and we will be using it based on ALV tree. without structure, let me execute first. When you run without structure, you are able to get the GL accounts that you have not mapped also. In short, we have currently done the mapping only for P&L. But apart from P&L, you are able to see two more groups which are not yet configured by us. But if you do not want them, you want only the GLs that you have mapped, you need to click on this button as a structured balance list. This checkbox is one of your interview questions. They might ask you what will happen if you enable as a structured balance list on your F.01. What is the importance or why we use this? Once we define the balance sheet, you will understand it. Now, if I do it, apart from P&L, any other things are coming? No, right? Nothing is coming apart from P&L if I click as per structured list. Now, if I don't click this as per structured list, all the other GL accounts will also come. Okay. Now, you look at this, there is something called a calculated result. Correct? This calculated result is nothing but P&L result. In short, whether you are getting profit or you are getting loss from your P&L will be displayed here. This is always a reverse sign of your original P&L symbol. If your original P&L symbol is negative, this calculated result will be positive. If this is positive, this will be negative. In short, this is a standalone figure. Calculated result is always standalone figure. So this will not be mapped anywhere. And after P&L, we have to map a balance sheet. So this balance sheet I'll show you in the tomorrow's session. But before we understand a balance sheet, which is a little tricky part, it's not tricky, but you need to get the proper logic. Then you will find financial statement version is a simple, straightforward. But before you get the logic of balance sheet, I want you to configure P&L first, which is simple, straightforward, so that you will have a clear understanding about what is happening in your financial statement version, how you are configuring, how numbers are coming, and whether you are able to relate the numbers from your postings or not. If you just like that look at this number, if you just like that look at the config, you will not understand the logic concept behind financial statement version. When you do it, you also do the same thing. Create one company code by copying from any one company code of your choice. Pass some entries. When you post some entries, make sure you calculate profit loss of your own. You prepare a balance sheet of your own, like whatever we did here. Take some entries of your choice, pass the entries, prepare TB, prepare P&L, prepare balance sheet, download trial balance from SAP, compare SAP trial balance with your manual trial balance. Then look at the P&L. Let me put P&L also here. Copy this. This is the trial balance. I'll put this is P&L. And let me take the financial statement version P&L from here. Snipping tool. I'll put this P&L here. Now when you look at this system P&L and when you look at this, you will come to know your P&L is giving you the amount of 111,000 negative, which is profit. Your manual calculation is also giving you 111,000, which is profit. Correct? And you need to make sure you are able to post the entries, you are able to extract the report, and you are able to match your manual calculations with the system calculations. Only then tomorrow in your interview you will be able to talk confidently, or when you are in a project, when you are talking to your user or to somebody, you will have a confidence which will make you create an impact which the others feel that you are confident enough to work to handle things. It is in your hands, but it's a one-time effort. You have to sit, put in some effort, try to understand so that you are able to explain without any issues, without any doubts, without any confusion. Even if the other person is trying to create confusion, make sure you are clear with your understanding. You will not get confused, you will not get diverted, deviated by other person's false statements or incorrect statements. Clear? So this is about your P&L alone from financial statement version. In tomorrow's session, we will understand how balance sheet is prepared. And after preparing the balance sheet, we will run the report and we will verify P&L balance sheet, how data is flowing from your P&L to balance sheet, how your balance sheet is becoming zero, how profit and loss account is result is flowing to balance sheet, and how it is not duplicating and all. You will understand in the tomorrow's class. Clear, right? Any questions?
Sir, in profit and loss statement, 1,11,000 it is showing negative, but below it is showing positive. Any logic behind?
This is just a dummy number. Just a dummy number. This is not related to your P&L. This will show the number to make the financial statement completely zero. If I want to show my financial statement completely zero, here you are able to see positive negative number. To offset this, you will find a positive number here. So this calculated figure does not have any GL account. This is only the offsetting number for this. The reverse sign you will find all the time.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
All right. All right. Let me stop this recording.
Hello.